New Zealand is calling time on its training mission in Iraq, but not until next year. There are currently up to 95 troops at Camp Taji training Iraqi security forces. New Zealand's deployment will end by June 2020. It's been working with Australia in the joint mission since 2015. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern extended the Iraq and Afghanistan deployments last September, but they were reduced in size. Defence Minister Ron Mark joins me now from Parliament. Good evening, Minister. Why now?
Good evening. Well, we said that we'd review the deployments in June, and we have done precisely that.
Why have you decided to leave?
Well, let's take Iraq. What we went into Iraq to do, at the request of the Iraqi government, was to train their personnel that they could play their part effectively in the Defeat ISIS campaign, and that they could recover control of their own country. During the time that we've been there, we have trained over 44,000 ISF personnel, and we are at the point now where we've had conversations with Australia, and we believe that we have done all we need to do. We're now transitioning into training the trainers, which gives autonomy and independence to Iraq themselves for the responsibility of training their own people. At this point, our job is done.
Yeah, so our job is done, but interestingly enough, Brigadier General Colin Keever, who was until May this year the commander of the Joint Task Force in Iraq, just this week he said that while ISIS may not hold any ground, they are absolutely still alive and well in the background, and they are expanding their influence and undermining the governments of Iraq and other nations. So are we tapping out before the job's actually really done?
Well, no, our job was not to be involved in combat operations. Our job was there to be a trainer and to train Iraqis that they might do that themselves. That said, it is one thing to defeat ISIS on the ground and to recover terrain that they had occupied in a conventional war. It is something quite different to defeat an ideology. So we're not blind to that, nor are any of the partnering nations in the Defeat ISIS coalition. It's just that we have moved into a new phase. Iraq is in a far better position to fight that campaign on the ground itself. Of course, it's going to continue to need assistance. It'll need assistance from the world at large in reconstructing. One of the things that needs to be undertaken is a massive reconstruction job, which, if it is successful and if it's timely, will undermine ISIS's ability to create dissent or to live off of dissent.
So what's New Zealand's, sorry to interrupt, Minister, but what's New Zealand's role in this new phase then?
Well, in that new phase, we have made a commitment to increase our allocation of funding towards reconstruction. That is going up to $3 million a year. We are downsizing and exiting in June. From there, we have a commitment in Operation Gallant Phoenix, which we talked about today. That's an intelligence role, and I guess from there, it's going to be in the hands of NATO, who are going to take the lead on this.
So how many people will remain working in intelligence then?
Well, we don't talk about exact numbers in terms of Operation Gallant Phoenix. As you know, that was not a publicised deployment because of the fact that it was set up on the back of us receiving information that a New Zealander had been kidnapped and been taken hostage.
But we remain present in an intelligence sense.
That's not an Iraq-based operation, but it provides information for all of the Defeat ISIS coalition, and more broadly, as we found out on the 15th of March, when we had the horrendous attack in Christchurch, it became a very valuable source of quick information for our police back home.
So, was it the right decision then in 2015 to send troops to Iraq?
Well, it was the decision that was made by the government of the day, and as the government of today, it is our obligation to meet the commitments our government has made and the pledges that we've made to our people. I think if you look at where we are today, and I visited Iraq, and from from where I sit on the back of having been to Iraq and been to Afghanistan, I received first-hand, all of the advice I had from commanders on the ground is that our people had contributed to the training, the effectiveness of their personnel on the ground.
So do you believe it was a good decision then to be involved and to go there in 2015?
I believe we've met our commitment as made by the last government, and I believe it's been worthwhile.
So it was a good decision, worthwhile then?
Well, it's been worthwhile, and it's been valued, and all of our partners, and that includes NATO, whom we have an enhanced defence relationship with, have been very grateful for the work that we've done, but it is time for us to go.
We're almost out of time. In Afghanistan specifically, what will we be concentrating on there?
Well, we're downsizing the number of personnel that we've got at the Afghan National Academy for Training Officers from 11 down to 5, but we are seeking an appointment for 3 female instructors to train their women in peace and security and to enhance the female leadership element within the Afghan Defence Security Forces. Beyond that, there is an element in the NATO headquarters which enables us to have oversight over logistics and support to that training operation.
Appreciate your time this evening. That is Defence Minister Ron Mark talking about our exit from Iraq, which will take place over about a year.